It's an invaluable offering that you do every morning. With that, we can begin and also thank you for this opportunity to speak about Krishna and his wonderful associates. So this morning we'll be reading from Canto 10, Chapter 86, Text 2 and 3, if I am not mistaken. So I will do some opening prayers, and then we can read the Sanskrit translation and purport. And then we will try to speak something on this wonderful story. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devam saraswatam vyasam tito jayamudire nastapaya subhadrishu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate utamashloke bhakti bhagavati naishtaki. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, I should offer the respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Narayan, Rishi, Supremmost Human Being, unto Mother Saraswati, the Goddess of Learning, and unto Srila Vyasati, the author. I'd also like to offer my respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and sincere followers like His greatest Adi Purush Prabhu, by whose grace we have access to this transcendental wisdom. By regular attendance and classes on the Srimad Bhagavatam, all that is troublesome to the hearts is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto by regular attendance on classes on Srimad Bhagavatam and rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact. Irrevocable. Okay. Irrevocable. Once again, Canto 10, Chapter 86, Text 2 to 3. We'll read the Sanskrit as follows. Shri Sukha Uvacha Arjuna Stirtha Yatrayam Payatan Avinim Prabhu Kata Prabhasam Ashnon Matuleim Sa Atmana Duyodan Naya Ramastam Dasyatitina Chapare Talipsu Sayate Budva Tridandi Dwarkam Agats. Alright, swear for a translation. Sri Shukuvacha Sukadeva Goswami said, Arjuna, Tirtha, to holy places, Yatrayam, while on pilgrimage, Hayatan, wandering, Avanim, the earth, Prabhu, the great Lord, Gata, having gone, Prabhasam, to Prabhas, Ashnat, heard, Matuleyam, uncle's daughter, Sa, he, Atmana, his, Duryodanaya, to Duryodan, Rama, Lord Balaram, Tam, her, Dasyati, intends to give, Iti, thus, Na, not, Cha, and, Apare, anyone else, Tat, her, Lipsu, desirous of obtaining, Sa, he, Arjuna, Arjuna, Yati, a sannyasi, Budva, becoming, Tridandi, carrying a triple staff, Dwarakam, to Dwarka, Agat, went. Translate, PBT translation and reports. Shukadeva Goswami said, while traveling far and wide, visiting various holy places of pilgrimage, Arjuna came to Prabhas. There, he heard that Lord Balaram intended to give his maternal cousin Subhadra to Duryodhana in marriage, and that no one else approved of this plan. Arjuna wanted to marry her himself, so he disguised himself as a renunciate, complete with triple staff, and went to Dwarka. Report. Arjuna's plan for obtaining Subhadra as his wife may have seemed unconventional, but he was not acting without encouragement. In fact, Lord Krishna was his prime co-conspirator. And in Dwarka, most of the members of the royal family, especially Vasudev, were unhappy about giving their favorite daughter to Duryodhana. So I'll offer some prayers and then we can continue forward. Oh, Meganatividandasya, Jananjana Shalakaya, Chakshu Militamina, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam, Sabidam Yena Bhutale, Swayam Rupa Karamaya, Dadante Swapadantikam, Vandeham Shri Guru, Shri Utavadakamalam, Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shad, Shri Rupam Sagajatam, Sahagana Gunatam, Tam Sajivam, Sadvitam Savadutam, Virjina Savitam, Vishnu Chaitanya Devam, Shri Radha Krishna Padan, Sahagana Shri
Shivishakantitam Cha.
He Krishna Karuna Sindhu, Dinabandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kantara,
Varakanta Namo
Tapta Kanchana Gorangi, Radhe Vrindaveshwari, Vrishabhanu Sudi
Devi,
Pranamami Priye,
Vanshakapatruvyascha, Vipasindhuvyavacha, Patitanam Pavnebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Graha, Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Good job. Okay. So once again, we'll read the translation. Shukadeva Goswami said, while traveling far and wide, visiting various holy places of pilgrimage, Arjuna came to Prabhas. There he heard that Lord Balaram intended to give his marital cousin Subhadra to Duryodhana in marriage, and that no one else approved of this plan. Arjuna wanted to marry her himself, so he disguised himself as a renunciate, complete with triple staff, and went to Dwarka. So there's many different angles that we could look at for this class, but today we're going to go ahead and focus on the relationship between Krishna and Guru. So a little bit of backstory. Why does Balaram, who is the representative of, or is the original spiritual master, the Adi Guru, why does he want to give Subhadra, who is none other than the internal potency, Yogamaya, why does he want to give her to Duryodhana, who we know to be the antagonist of the Mahabharata? The cruel-minded, as he is described in, wicked-minded, as he is described in Bhagavad Gita, the wicked-minded Duryodhana, who has plotted against the Pandavas, trying to poison them, burn them in the house of black, usurp their kingdom, cheat them out of their inheritance. So many things culminating in the war, the great war of the Mahabharata, which resulted in the speaking of the Bhagavad Gita. Why this personality who is seemingly so qualified to receive the hand of Yogamaya Subhadra Devi, why does Balaram wish to arrange for this marriage? Why? Well, first we can look at a little bit about their relationship between Balaram and Duryodhana. In the Mahabharata, it explains how Duryodhana actually became a student of Balaram in martial arts, in the fighting of the gada, or the mace. And there, also Bhima, who is a mortal enemy of Duryodhana, they also went to train with Balaram. So Bhima and Duryodhana were actually both students of Balaram. And there, the relationship between Duryodhana and Balaram became established. And Duryodhana is actually, to my recollection, one of the best, if not the best, mace fighters and mace students under Balaram. Now, so this is the external relationship between Duryodhana and Balaram in extreme summary. But if we look at it from another perspective, Balaram as the Adi Guru is giving all opportunity, all grace, all mercy to everyone, especially to the students. The role of the Guru in our life, is to offer us the torchlight of knowledge, to give us the opportunity to take shelter of Krishna. Krishna himself advises to Arjuna that if you have any questions, then you should seek out the shelter of the spiritual master. You should submissively inquire from them and render service to them. They can give you the truth, the spiritual potency. They can help you become under the influence of Yoga Maya because they have seen the truth. Tattva Darshana, they have seen the truth. They have realized it. They lived it. They themselves are under the spiritual potency. So like this, the spiritual master is that vehicle, that instrument, that conduit of Krishna's mercy, of Krishna's grace. As it said in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Dharataya Mameva Prapatyante Mayam Etam Tarantite. That this external energy, this illusory energy, is actually impossible to overcome, extremely difficult to overcome. But one who takes shelter in me, in my internal potency, they can easily cross beyond it. And so Subhadra Devi, who we understand to literally be the Yogamaya potency of Krishna, to be the potency of Krishna, is being given to Duryodhana by Balaram, who is the spiritual master. So like this, we even see our contemporary acharyas in this mood of Balaram. We see even Srila Prabhupada, to use a contemporary example, gave the opportunity to everyone, regardless of their qualification. People perhaps who had even less piety than Duryodhana. He's freely giving the opportunity to everyone to take the shelter of the internal potency of Krishna. But next we see in this pastime, an even finer point, that ultimately it is Krishna who gives the grace. The spiritual master is the avail themselves to be the conduit of Krishna's grace in this world. And Krishna says that he is subservient to... Krishna is subservient to the will of his disciple, of his devotees. They are his heart. In the Madhurya Kandamini explains that his grace comes through the devotees, and his devotees are choosing who to give it to, and they are trying to spread it widely. They're full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. And thus they are wanting to give everyone the opportunity to take shelter of the internal potency. But it is ultimately from Krishna that this opportunity comes from. And as Krishna elaborates in the Bhagavad Gita, as one approaches me, so I reciprocate. And so where does Krishna's mercy come through? He comes through the Guru. And who ultimately gets it? The ones who take shelter of the Guru's opportunity. So if Prabhupada gave opportunities to the whole world, who benefits? The ones who accepted it. As one approaches me, so I reciprocate. We have free will. Love means free will. Love means free will. So if we are given the opportunity, we have to accept it. If I offer $1 million to someone, then they have to accept it. If I force it on them, then that's no longer free will. That's no longer love. It is being forced upon them. There's no choice. But love means that there's a relationship, and that means that we make the decision to participate. And so the spiritual master is giving this grace to everyone, but it's those who accept it that receive it. So Krishna reciprocates by giving the shelter to those who take to the Guru's instruction. Again, and what is the instruction of the spiritual master? It is the same conclusion as Sri Krishna. Just take full shelter in Krishna. There's no other dharma, no other occupation, no other duty, no other essence that's more crucial than this, that is more essential than taking shelter, confiding in Krishna Bhagavan. And how does one do that? What does that shelter look like? In the verse before 1865, Manmana bhava ma bhakto madiji manmana bhava ma bhakto madiji mam namaskuru mami vashisasatam te prati jani priyo sime. Always think of me. Always become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. Why? Because you are my very dear friend. And so these are the words of Krishna. And thus the words of Guru are, take shelter of Krishna. Become Krishna's devotee. Worship Krishna. And offer your homage unto Krishna. Krishna will surely deliver you. Why? Because you are very, very dear to him. So in this case, we see that Balaram, the original Guru, is mentioning this and giving the opportunity for those who may not even be qualified. The whole other rest of the family does not approve of Balaram's plan. Does not approve of Balaram's plan. He's even contemporary. There is those who turned away from Prabhupada's grace. And the rest of the devotees were, Prabhupada, we should forget about this person. They've turned away, they've stolen, they've committed so many mistakes. And Prabhupada is saying, if they come back to me, I will immediately give them back this chance. I recognize they are a rascal, but they are my rascal. Because I love them and I want them to be happy. I want them to receive the mercy of Krishna. And so like this, in a similar mode, Balaram is, this is the mode of Srila Prabhupada, which follows in line with this pastime of Lord Balaram, who is offering the internal potency to one who is not so qualified, as evidenced by the disapproval of the rest of the family. However, we see Arjuna, who has taken full shelter of Krishna. And there's also a beautiful, also in the room, Hare Krishna, obeisances. Hare Krishna. So, like this, Arjuna, who has taken full shelter of, both Arjunas who have taken full shelter of Krishna, have taken full shelter of the spiritual master, of Srila Prabhupada, Balaram, Krishna, and follow those instructions, he is qualified to receive the grace. And thus, in the purport, it's elaborated that Krishna was his prime co-conspirator to be in union with Subhaja Devi, in union with the internal potency. And so like this, if we follow in the footsteps of Arjuna, by accepting the guidance of the spiritual master, which means acceptance of the instructions of Sri Krishna himself, by taking shelter of him, becoming his devotee, worshiping him, offering homage unto him, always thinking about him, thus we become under the shelter of the internal potency, we go from being in the external material energy to being under the shelter of the internal potency of the Shakti, of the Yoga Maya potency. And thus we can be also in a transcendental spiritual union with the spiritual energy, which is naturally filled with ananda, bliss, as well as eternality, sat, and full consciousness, chit. And how do we do that? By taking shelter of the spiritual master's instructions. So with that, I was thinking of another parallel that springboards into Chaitanya Charitamrita, because we see that in this instance of Krishna Lila, Balaram is giving even Duryodhana this opportunity to receive the mercy of Krishna. But Duryodhana does not so much take to the instructions in the way that Arjuna does. But we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Balaram comes again, and this time as Nitai, Jai Nitai, as Lord Nityananda, and Sri Krishna comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They come in this mood of Udarya, of profuse giving of prayers. And there is one pastime that shows it interesting. I just thought about it. This came to me this morning. That there's this interesting parallel between this pastime and the pastime of Jagai and Madai, where Balaram, in his form as Lord Nityananda, is giving the highest grace, Krishna Prema Bhakti, to those who are stated to be in the most fallen condition. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Haridas Thakur and Nityananda, please go and share this Krishna consciousness, this Harinam Sankirtan. Go and beg alms on the street, asking everyone to take to this Nam Sankirtan, this chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Please do like this. Hearing these instructions, Haridas Thakur and Lord Nityananda took this instruction as their life and soul. Their life and soul. What an interesting term. That there is nothing separate. What is your life? Whatever condition your life is in, it is still your life. Whether I'm asleep, whether I'm waking, whether I'm eating, whether I'm in happiness or distress, it is my life. They took this instruction as their life. And beyond their life, my material life could end. I could die, I could transfer into another body. But it's also their soul, which is said to be eternal. There is no destruction of it. They took this instruction as their life and their soul. So like this, they went all throughout sharing this Nam Sankirtan, begging for everyone to accept this offering, this opportunity to receive Krishna Prema. And like this, so many were not accepting. And if someone would not accept the mercy, Lord Nityananda would cry. He would cry. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who came in Krishna Lila as Balaram. And we see the different variegated ways that he expresses and gives his mercy. It's so many pastimes, even like Rukmi giving liberation in so many different ways, so many excellent pastimes. And in the mood of Odarya, in Chaitanya Lila, and Gaura Lila, Balaram comes again as Lord Nityananda, and those who are even less qualified, he is begging them, he is taking the humble position, falling at their feet, begging, please accept this Nam Sankirtan. If they say, no, I'm not so interested, he would begin crying, he would weep, he would roll on the ground, begging, please take this Nam Sankirtan. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Imagine even if we have some position in this world, how much prestige we may feel and think, oh, I'm giving this opportunity. I don't need to beg for them. They can take it or leave it. I don't need to humble myself in such a way. I'm already offering it. What more can I do? This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who, in one of his expansions as Anantashesha, is holding the universe on his hood and does not even know where it is. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead with unlimited opulences and strength. And he takes such an unlimitedly humble position, rolling on the ground, begging for those to take this nonsense. And their heart being melted by the extreme humility, the inconceivable humility of this Lord Nityananda, would take to this Nam Sankirtan, and thus filling their minds and their hearts and their mouths with Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, they would become Lord Nityananda's life, his heart. They would win his heart. They would become the treasure of Nityananda's heart. That easily, they had won the heart and won Lord Nityananda himself, purchased him just by chanting this Nam Sankirtan. And so like this, one day on their Harinam Sankirtan mission, they go out and they find these two individuals who are in a very intoxicated state, fighting and beating against each other, terrifying everyone around them. And they go, who is this? Who is this? And they say, oh, you do not know, this is Jagai and this is Madai. These are the worst dacoits, worst personalities, thieves, rogues, bandits, murderers, arsonists of all time. It is said that Yamaraj, who has his associates logging all of everyone's karmic reactions, they have people working overtime just trying to log all the negative karmic reactions that they have accrued by all of their sinful activities. And they cannot keep up. And normally, even the people who suggested, steer clear of these two, they're trouble. They will kill you. Normally, one may think, okay, well, we're in the business of giving mercy, but this is too much. We'll just go somewhere else. But for Nityananda, he said, yes, this is the perfect candidate. Tita Pavana, Ita Petita Pavana, Gora Hari. These are the perfect candidates to receive the mercy. Jagat Guru Petita Pavana. These are the perfect candidates to receive the mercy. And so he talks up Haridas, and they go and approach this Jagai Madai and say, Krishna is your life. Krishna is your mother. Krishna is your father. Krishna is your life and soul. Give up these sinful activities and chant Krishna Nam, receive Krishna Prem, go back to Goloka Vrindavan. And Jagai Madai, in their drunken stupor, what are you saying? You dare approach us? You dare speak to us like this? And they actually go and chase Lord Nityananda and Haridas in intention to kill them, to murder them. But Lord Nityananda is in ecstasy. He is said to be in the mood of a cowherd boy because he is loved Balaram. And Balaram, he's the cowherd of Vrindavan. So he's running as if he is in the pastures of Vrindavan, and he is blissfully running away from Jagai Madai, who are trying to kill him. And like this, somehow or other, the escape, we outrun Jagai Madai, who are over intoxicated and cannot keep up. And so many nice pastimes are described about the conversations between Haridas and Nityananda, saying, why did you have us do that? I know you convinced me we should try to offer this. He's like, you're a madman, Nitai. You're a madman. These people They can't receive this mercy. But Nitai's response is something along the lines of, you're saying I'm like the madman. You can't blame me. You have to blame that madman, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's the one who gave us this madman-like instruction to share this mercy with everyone. Jagai and Mada are part of that everyone. So he is the madman, not me. I'm just following his instruction. So like this, they have these loving exchanges going on. There's also more descriptions given of Haridas Thakur speaking with Advaita Charya, a very nice exchange of love. And Haridas Advaita Charya says, what can you expect? Nitai is a madman. He is intoxicated. He is intoxicated. Intoxicated people like to associate with other people who are intoxicated. The difference is that Nitai is intoxicated not by wines and liquors and spirits. He's intoxicated by Krishna Prema. He is in an ocean of ecstatic bliss, drinking the nectarian waves of love of God, unless he is intoxicated. And of course, he's going to spend time with other intoxicated people, trying to also inundate them with that same intoxication. And so we advance forward again to another opportunity, another instance, another attempt by Nitai, who is intoxicated by this Krishna Prema, this transcendental avadut. And with tears flowing with his eyes, heart overwhelmed with compassion, relishing this highest mellows of Krishna Prema, and wanting every soul to take it, he follows, he approaches Jagai Madai again with tears flowing from his heart, flowing from his eyes, begging, please, Jagai Madai, give up these ways which are hurting your heart and take to the chanting of Nam Sankirtan of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. To this, Jagai, it's actually Madai, picks up a pot, broken pot, and smashes it across the head of Nitai. No, we see in Balaram's pastimes, he fights you. He will give the gada. He will give the gada. He will give the mace, like Rukmi. He will liberate. But in this pastime, Nitai takes this offense. He takes the smashing of the pot over his head. Profuse spiritual blood and
Bless you with pure devotion service.
Profuse flowing of blood is described, covers Nitai. And Nitai's response, Balaram's response in this form of Gaur Lila and Gaur Nityananda, he simply says, do you think that just because you've done this, that I will not give you Krishna Prema? That I will not offer you again this topmost mercy? This is the inconceivable, unlimited pinnacle of the quality of forgiveness of Vaishnava, quality of compassion, quality of grace that flows through the Vaishnava, through the spiritual master. Even when the spiritual master has been wronged, all they want is that the student takes to the topmost prize of Krishna Prema. This is the mercy of the spiritual master. However, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to hear about this, who was none other than Krishna himself. It says, and we've seen so many pastimes across Srimad Bhagavatam, even in the 8th canto with Abharish Maharaj, that Krishna says that my devotees are my heart. And so him coming to hear that Lord Nityananda had been struck is more painful than someone striking him directly. It struck his heart. Nitai is his very heart. And so in a fury, Lord Chaitanya comes ready to destroy Jagai and Madai. And again, we see how Krishna is subservient to his devotees in love. Declare boldly that my devotees never perish. It's always there to protect them. But Lord Chaitanya is stopped by who? Nitai. Lord Nityananda, who is the spiritual master who, even though wrong, protests and says, no, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we've come on this mission to give Krishna Prema. If you destroy this Jagai Madai, pretty much everyone to some extent is like this Jagai Madai. You have to destroy the entire world. No, our mission here is to give grace. Please, I beg you to give him your mercy. To give him your mercy. This is what the spiritual master does for us. We may not even be able to conceive of it. Certainly not. But when we bring our consciousness gradually to this awareness, it naturally invokes an undying gratitude by which we, from a place of love, become inspired to dedicate our whole life to serving and reciprocating with the grace of the spiritual master, knowing that they're eternally indebted to their love, to their connecting us with Krishna. So like this, seeing this mercy, the hearts of Jagai Madai melt, and they fall at the feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and beg to take his mercy. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is the beautiful relationship between Guru and Krishna, between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. He says, if you like to take my mercy, you must get the blessings of Lord Nityananda. You must fall at his feet. You must fall at the feet of the spiritual master. Like Srila Prabhupada representing Lord Nitai, we fall at his feet, and we fall at the feet of his representatives. So like this, Jagai Madai, they fall at the feet of Lord Nityananda, begging, please forgive us, please give us your mercy. Lord Nitya says, yes, of course. All of my pious credits, anything to my name, I offer to you. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has unlimited pious credits. All of it I give to you. Please receive this full grace of mercy. Please receive this Krishna Prema. Please receive the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And like this, the pastime goes on, and Jagai Madai become the topmost devotees. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself takes on all the negative karmic reactions. And Jagai Madai are forever known as most exalted Vaishnavas. Endowed with Krishna Prema. So like this, we can conclude with this idea that Guru gives Krishna, and Krishna gives grace to those who take the shelter of Guru. Thank you for this opportunity to speak, to attempt to speak something about the glories, the unlimited glories of these super excellent personalities, and in attempts to glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to share something relishable for his dear, dear devotees. Please forgive me if I speak anything wrong, anything bad about this guitar is certainly my fault, and anything nice is simply the grace of Lord Nityananda through his representatives, his spiritual masters, and through Krishna's grace. So with that, I thank you all very much. And with a few minutes, we can open up to questions and comments and reflections. And Hare Krishna, maybe you can add us some more enlightening words.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. What a delightful description of Lord Chaitanya's mercy and Lord Nityananda's invoking that mercy. This pastime goes on. It's expanded. Krishna is so wonderful. We're recalling yesterday distributing literature in a parking lot of a supermarket called Piggly Wiggly in Georgia. And this store manager came exploding out of the store, stomping like a charging bull at us, and the tendency is to just run when somebody's charging like that so antagonistically. And Krishna gave us an unusual response. It was just so vivid. He came out there to throw us out, attack us, call the police and this and that, and we welcomed him. We said, yes, you're here. And he was like, you're not supposed to say yes. You used to say, oh, no. No, we're glad you came out here. He was like, what? You don't understand what this conversation is about. I said, well, we understand you have a perception of what it's about, but actually, we're here to give you Lord Chaitanya's mercy. What? Lord Chaitanya's mercy? What? Because we have this literature for you. We have to give this to you. You have to give. No, you can't do this here. I said, well, we are doing it here, and this is actually a very wonderful book, and we hope you accept it. And there's this he's like, wait a minute, I'm here to throw you out, and you're welcoming me and trying to give me something, And what are you talking about, Lord Chaitanya's mercy? And I said, just look at this magazine. It's so beautiful, and we want you to have this. This is for you, and this will help you so much in your life. And he tried to direct the conversation into intimidating, and then it's so funny how it evolved. There's not much time to describe, but so then his supervisor was at the store, and he was going like this, go, get out, and we said, no, come here. So then he came out there and he said, what's going on here? And the first manager said, he said, it's Lord Chaitanya's mercy. That was amazing. He could pick up those words and say that, and I could see one of the checkout girls was coming out the store, and she was looking, because it was becoming like a whole scene, and what is this? What? And eventually, the checkout girl came and said, and she said, what's Lord Chaitanya's mercy? I said, well, it's about love of God. It's about, getting free from birth and death. And it's about, perfecting your life. And, they were like, wait a minute, you can't talk about this. These conversations, we've been doing this for, decades and decades and decades, but it's so delightful to see how Lord Chaitanya's mercy, and they kept saying that phrase. Somehow they got that phrase, Lord Chaitanya's mercy, and she said, well, I want Lord Chaitanya's mercy too. Wow. It just went on, and then the police came and we gave them Lord Chaitanya's mercy. It was kind of interesting to see how, when you stand by the truth, then the darkness, it doesn't have any grounds for resistance. Because we were delighted that they came out there, and they were thinking, you're supposed to be afraid of us, and that this is Georgia. You're going to jail, boy. Jail.
Thank you so much. Go.
Bhagavatam Class. Anda Kamaniya Vichita Soma Govinda, Hari Krishna,
Spiritual master. On the way. Reverence. By His grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is that my consciousness is purified by the words emanating from His lotus mouth. Attachment to His lotus feet is a perfection that fulfills all desires. Opens my dark eyes, fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, earth, not and ecstatic gratefulness. My goodness is destroyed. Today, scriptures sing His character. Our spiritual master, illusion, mercy, spread in the form of the Lord. O Master, be merciful to us. They have famous for the three worlds. Take shelter to lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada.
I wonder if Madan Gopal will say a few words for the afterglow, since you're here, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mohar Prabhu, for such an uplifting class. Not just the words, but the unspoken joy that flows forth from your own ecstasy as you're feeling the mercy of Mahaprabhu and Nitai. And we can see the transformation ahead on Jagai Madhai. It's very uplifting. So thank you for sharing in such a nice way. I think this chapter itself is going to unfold some amazing aspects of Krishna's mercy, and also reveal some complexities of interactions with Arjuna kidnapping, and you can just in the title of the chapter, it's very interesting. So lots of cool things yet to come, but it is infused primarily with what you spoke, Prabhu, about the mercy of the Lord blossoming into everyone's hearts. And I hope that we can all perceive that even as we move through our days in our lives, to see the mercy of the Lord in various ways, sometimes in very uplifting and comfortable ways, and sometimes in uplifting, uncomfortable ways, but always uplifting. This is mercy. So thank you for sharing those thoughts. And lots of amazing anecdotes also coming up in this chapter that we can look forward to. And yes, we can also hope that Krishna can send his devotees into our lives to kidnap us away from the Duryodhans of the world and rescue us. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Anybody has questions while we have him on? Oh, Maturanatha Prabhu?
Haribo.
Haribo?
Yeah, so much appreciate the class. One of the points, just such a sweet sentiment, Krishna is my life and soul. And I was thinking, what does that really mean? Krishna is my life and soul. And one of the distinctions I was thinking is, that means, we can sit there and have that sentiment and bask in that, but I think it really plays out as, Krishna, I want to do what you want me to do. So instead of, well, I want to do what I want to do in this world, or I want to do what I want to do for you, but how can we make that distinction? If we really want to make Krishna our life and soul, how do we make that distinction between I want to do what I feel like doing for Krishna, or you're my life and soul, I just want to do whatever you want? How to really look at that and see if there's me involved in this, or if it's really I just want to give myself to whatever you want.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, it may be outside of our comfort zone. Krishna clearly explains, no one is more dear to me than one who gives this to someone else. And if we have that intention, there's so many ways to do it. People do it through art, they do it through literature, they do it through music, they do it through food. Some way to give Krishna to somebody else is very pleasing to Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya's mercy is unlimited and eternal, and it's going on now. It's going on now. And we may think we have to figure it out, but we can just desire properly. Lord, I'm yours. Use me. I'm available. And then watch how Krishna miraculously uses us to give Krishna consciousness to others today. Not just a long time ago, not just a theoretical, philosophical point in a book, but right now, we can give Krishna to someone else. Krishna wants to let his love flow through us like a river, like a powerful lightning bolt. And it's real, right?
I appreciate your point, especially about getting out of our comfort zone, because the material life is about comfort, and a lot of us who had a material life, just full on material life before coming to take up bhakti, that's in our hearts, this desire for comfort in this world. And a lot of time, I think we don't even know it, that I am trying to be comfortable, and I'm not willing to just step out of that and, do whatever Krishna. I mean, it haunts me every morning. Am I going to get up for Mangal Arati this morning or not? Am I going to be comfortable, or am I going to get up and go? And it's not comfortable materially, but spiritually it's like supercharging. And Krishna says he reciprocates. So everything in our day, am I willing to step out of that comfort zone?
That's a good point about the comfort zone. The question is, how do I know if I'm truly serving Krishna's will or just doing what I want in Krishna's name? And that's where the comfort zone is. Sometimes, even though it may be uncomfortable, it's positive. Even that can be done in a selfish way. Because we do disciplined things, but even some of the greatest selfish people are very disciplined. They accomplish great selfish things because they're so disciplined. So that in itself is not the only measure. We can ask ourselves a few things. We can ask ourselves: does this decision or desire align with the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada? Does it serve the expansion of Krishna consciousness in a way that is pleasing to him? Not just my own idea of what. And then ask myself, am I doing this for my own name, fame, comfort, or control? Would I still do this if no one praised me or I got no recognition? Would this bring Krishna pleasure, just satisfy some need of mine to feel important? So the daily surrender practice that we can do is, my Lord, I don't know what you want fully, but I want what you want. Please reveal it to me. Please make me your instrument. So sometimes what you naturally want is Krishna's will, especially when the desire is one based on service, two, it helps others, three, it aligns with scripture and Guru's guidance, and four, brings you closer to the holy name. You feel more peace, you feel more connected to Krishna. And so we want to be vigilant. At the same time, we can be also naturally joyful. So Krishna consciousness is both dead serious and delightfully joyous. So the line between serving Krishna and using Krishna to serve ourselves is thin. But by chanting sincerely, associating with devotees, especially advanced, mature devotees who can give us some loving guidance, and consulting scripture regularly, that line becomes clearer and we feel it in our hearts. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's very sweet. I appreciate sincerely praying, sincerely asking, what is your will for me? Please show me.
Beautiful. Anybody else? I think, I guess we can conclude and go on our day. Oh, Bhakti Center. Jamna Jaya, you had.
Oh no, I was just clocking on to say beautiful class. Thanks everybody. Nothing to say.
Excellent. Thank you. Do you wanna conclude with Hare Krishna?
Narottam Nitai Prabhu has a hand up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So sorry, I missed it. Narottam Nitai Prabhu.
Yes, Dandavats. I just wanted to say, a lot of times, it's important to listen carefully. I remember Prabhupada Maharaj gave me that personal advice is to listen more than I talk, and it's such an important thing with the association of devotees. A lot of times, the answers or the confirmation that we need for what we need to do next in our service or what we need to do for our services given by the association of devotees. Krishna is always there. So that's one thing I wanted to say, and just like it's so important to always speak about Krishna. So our sadhana is like so important, so that like every day we speak about Krishna instead of other things that can derail us from our devotional life. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you for sharing. Anybody else had more reflections, questions, comments? Okay. So, yes, we will go on our day with this all in mind, and have a lovely day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
Still going? Is the Zoom still going or is it over? Hare Krishna, can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Adi. Still going.